Hey everybody, welcome to Eyecare Today. Dr. Deom here with a very exciting show for you all. We have our brand new doctors here joining us. Dr. Akirta Sran and Brendan Connors joining us today. And many of you have met them already over the last couple of years. Dr. Connors has been with us for several years now, and Dr. Akirta Sran just joined us. It seems like yesterday, but it also seems like you've been with us for quite some time, a little over a year ago now. So if you're just joining us and you've never heard of us before, we are located in Hazleton, of course, on the Airport Beltway and 281 Airport Beltway, Hazel Township, Pennsylvania. You can't miss us. We got the big eyeball out front. That is our mothership, if you will. Of course, we have our office in Tannersville, Pennsylvania on Route 611, right down the street from the Tannersville outlets. Can't miss it, right behind Friendly's. Beautiful location. Dr. Olzinski is there, as well as Dr. Corinne Bellinger. And we have our fantastic new location in Pottsville. We've been there now celebrating how many years?
2 years.
2 years. It is unreal, but we love the Schuylkill County, and Schuylkill County loves us. And if you are in that region, please stop by, check out that new office. We have fantastic parking, easy access, a wide selection of frames, and friendly faces to welcome you in. We're accepting new patients at all of our locations. Lastly, some very exciting news that just dropped today, and that is that Hazleton, Stroudsburg, and Pottsville Eye Specialists will be expanding their eye care to the Great White North, and by that I mean Nanticoke. And so Nanticoke, there's an opportunity that came about. Evans Eye Care, a very good friend of mine by the name of Dave Evans, a mentor of mine in the Pennsylvania Optometric Association, recently passed away. And his wife, Gail, reached out to us, and we started a conversation about how we could carry on the Evans Eye Care legacy. And we are very excited to announce here for the first time that we will be doing that now. So if you are in the Great Northeast area, if you're living in Nanticoke or the surrounding areas, maybe Mountaintop or beyond, we're here for you. We do have 24-hour emergency services at all four of our locations, and we will be very excited to be serving you in our Nanticoke location. So without further ado, I want to welcome Dr. Akirta Sran and Dr. Brendan Connors, who's now his second time on Eyecare Today. We had our first Eyecare Today back in the beginning.
25 months ago, about something like that? Yeah. Long time.
In Pottsville, right? We introduced you to all of the wonderful viewers, and we've been waiting patiently for Dr. Akirta Sran to join us here as on the show, but also in practice, and it's been a year now. And I think we need to start with how you came to be interested in eye care, Dr. Sran. How did this start? Where did this love for eyes come from?
Sure, yeah. So definitely for me, it's been since I was a little kid. I wanted to help people. I wanted to fly around in a hot air balloon and drop off supplies to those in need, and that's where it all started for me. I was like, how am I going to do that? How can I, help these people in need around the world? And that was my little dream. And then I started learning in school the different ways you can, help someone's health, someone's sight, and then I learned about how the eyes are literally the window into the rest of the body, and how I could, not only provide patients with sight, but also take care of their overall health. And for me, that just struck a chord, and I was like, that's what I want to do. That's how I'm going to help people. And I know I could do that in a place like how I was imagining the air balloon, places where people don't have access to care. Yeah. I want it to be accessible, and that's always been my passion, to be in an underserved area, providing care to those in need. And I'm definitely getting to do that here. It's exciting to be accessible, and that's kind of where it all started for me. And Yeah.
I think it's really important too to let folks know, because it is a small community and folks like to know a little bit about you. So tell us a little bit about your roots. Where are you from?
So I was born and raised in a small town, about 20,000 people. It's called Lloydminster. It's in Canada. It actually falls in Alberta and Saskatchewan. It's known as Canada's border city. So it's in two provinces.
Interesting.
So I was born in Saskatchewan but raised in Alberta because where the hospital is placed in that city is on the other side of the border.
Wow,
so,
okay, neat.
So I'm from, small town in Canada, and then I grew up there and I moved to Calgary. Most people know that better than Lloydminster. It's a bigger city, about 6 hours away from my hometown. That's where I went to undergrad. And so that was my first time leaving home.
Okay.
And then I was there for 6 years, did my undergrad. I did a bachelor's in biological sciences, a minor in psychology.
Oh, wow.
I worked in optometry for a year.
While you were in school, you already knew in undergrad.
Yeah, so I did summer jobs, and then I also, after I completed my undergrad, did a year of work before I came to school.
Wow,
and
very cool.
Yeah, so then I moved to the U.S. For optometry school to Pennsylvania, where I went to Pennsylvania College of Optometry, where all of us went.
That's
which
right.
Is awesome.
Is there a reason you chose to come to Pennsylvania? What was the reason you chose Pennsylvania College of Optometry?
So, I interviewed at multiple schools. I got to go to different states. I wasn't necessarily familiar with any of the areas, so it really came down to when I went to the school, what they had to offer, which is a super hands-on experience. They start clinical care very early on, which drew me in because I like to learn by doing, and having that early exposure, I feel like, has made us better in patient care because we started with the patients as early as possible. Awesome. And that's, one of the main things that drew me to that school. And it was a great experience, and I would do it again.
and you blinked, and you were already starting to go on clinical rotations, right? So in the last year and a half of school, we go on clinical rotations all over the country in various different practice settings, one of which is a private practice. And so that private practice happened to be
here. At Hazleton Eye Specialists.
Yeah. So tell us some of the experiences you had here at Hazleton Eye Specialists that, left an impression that, maybe you'd want to come back here.
Yeah, for sure. So as interns, we come here and we get to follow some amazing doctors like Dr. Kislin and yourself. And as students, we're learning new things. And again, this is an area where we knew it was very medically based because we are in an area that needs that access to care, so we get to provide that. And so coming here, we learned a lot of new things. And the experience we had was very family based. I felt the practice and the clinic just was so loving, so welcoming, and we actually came here together as interns, so we got to experience living here for 3 months together and working here as students, and we learned a lot. We got to do things we never got to do yet in school, and the patients were amazing.
Well, it's fantastic. I'm so happy that happened, that you guys were able to come here. We were able to get to know you and plant the seed that maybe there would be a future together. And we want all of you to hang in. We're going to be right back with a lot more information about Dr. Akirta Sran and Brendan Connors. Hey everybody, Dr. Deom here again on Eyecare Today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just in case you forgot, we are located on the Airport Beltway in Hazel Township, Pennsylvania, the Big Eyeball. You can't miss us. We're also in Stroudsburg on Route 611, right behind Friendly's down the road from the Tannersville outlets. We're in Pottsville, yes, Schuylkill County. We're here for you, our brand new office, which is actually in the really cool town of Palo Alto, lovingly referred to as Pali. And really exciting news, brand new location in Nanticoke. Yes, we're coming to the north, and we are here for you. And so here we are today with our two newest doctors. We just learned a whole lot about Dr. Akirta Sran, who has just celebrated her 1-year anniversary with us. And speaking of anniversaries, I think it would be probably appropriate this time to say, because you did mention you guys came together while you were on rotations together as students. Maybe some of you met them when they were here as students, that you were a couple then. So you didn't break any HR rules, right? They were a couple. They came as a couple of students, and we were really happy to have them as students. They were fantastic students, some of the best we've ever had. And then decided to come back. And so Dr. Brendan Connors has been with us for a few years now, and Dr. Akirta Sran actually continued her education in a specialty residency, a very difficult residency to get into, actually. Would you mind just telling us a little bit about that also?
Sure, yeah. So after finishing school, graduating, we were the class of 2020.
Yes.
The coolest class out there
That's
for
right.
eye doctors.
That's right.
I was able to get into a residency program at UC Berkeley, and my specialty was primary care and community health care, again, which circles back to my passion for underserved populations, and it gave me a lot of exposure to ocular disease and, high-level disease states for patients, and I had a wonderful year with multiple mentors who specialize in different things, glaucoma, dry eye. They were all in different specialties, and I also got to work with UCSF, which is University of California, San Francisco, with their retina specialists, so that was a great experience as well. Again, a lot of disease exposure and a really wonderful, well-rounding experience for a year.
So, those of you out there, maybe macular degeneration, glaucoma, maybe some vascular issues associated with the back of the eye, Dr. Sran has been well-versed in these conditions and is ready, to serve you and your loved ones with these conditions. Furthermore, this couple thing, right? I want to come back to that because I think it's pretty cool. So you came here as a couple, you stuck through it. I mean, hey, my wife and I, we were together through graduate school. She's a physical therapist. It wasn't always the easiest, right? Especially as you're traveling, you're in separate places, you're talking on the phone a lot. It's a challenge, right? It's a challenge, but you stuck it out. Here we are, and beautiful couple, and we just got married.
Got married.
So, I think it's kind of neat to share with everyone a little bit about a Sikh marriage. So Sikh is a religion, right, within the Indian culture, and there's some pretty cool things that happen in a Sikh marriage. We don't have time to go over all of them because we'd be here for a month.
No.
But we do have some pictures here that we could show everybody about this beautiful union of you two, but give us some highlights.
Sure, yeah. So it was a 5-day event. A lot of my family is in Canada, so we did have it take place in Canada, especially so we could be close to grandparents and make it easy on them.
Absolutely.
I don't know if anyone knows about Banff. It's one of the national parks. Beautiful Banff, Alberta.
Awesome.
Highly recommend visiting.
Yes.
But that's where our wedding took place. So one day there's henna art.
Okay.
Second day there's a special party or celebration of the events to come.
Cool.
A lot of little traditional things, like you said, can't go over all those details, but the third day we do a turmeric ceremony to get you glowing for the wedding.
It's also anti-inflammatory,
Yes.
So I think this is a very good thing to do. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, yellow paste placed on the skin by family members. Fourth day is a wedding ceremony, which was a traditional Sikh wedding ceremony. And then we did the fifth day as the reception, which then we circled back to incorporate Brendan's culture. We did a Western style ceremony, probably more of what you've had experience.
Sure.
Tux, white dress.
Yeah, cake cutting, first dances, parental dances, all that fun stuff. So big 5-day celebration of our love, which is awesome.
That is fantastic. And, I think, again, just sharing that with everybody, being part of this community, allowing them to share in your joy and your love together is a pretty cool thing. We've enjoyed watching you two grow as students and now as practicing doctors and now as part of our community. The newest addition to your family is
Wilbert.
Wilbert. Tell us about Wilbert. We have a picture here.
Oh man, he's a riot. We got a 6-month-old now, right? 6 months,
Yeah,
6-month-old.
6
It's a dog.
Yeah.
Just so everybody.
It's a dog.
Not a
It's a
human.
dog.
But anyway.
Yeah, not yet. No babies yet. So we got a 6-month-old Samoyed, which is a type of sled dog. So very similar to Husky, Malamute type of dog, but all white. He's a riot. He's a handful. We actually really lucked out in getting him. It's not a common breed at all, and we've always wanted one, and we thought we'd have to wait years, and ended up with a lot of luck. We found a very good breeder, breeds show dogs in New Jersey, and quick 2-hour drive, picked them up, and it's been awesome ever since.
I love dogs, and certainly I think, you know, having a pet offers you a different perspective on a lot of different things. It's certainly something to care about, but certainly, you know, part of your family, and certainly we're excited to see that. You know, one thing that beyond just bringing both of you back on to talk to everybody and reintroduce you, Brennan, but also to introduce you, Dr. Sran, we wanted to talk about a couple things. One thing in particular that you've sort of taken on, which is the discussion about skincare, eye care, and eyelash care, the intersection of those things. And so a lot of times people will ask us what we recommend as it relates to mascara, eyeliner, foundation, all of these things. And when they ask Dr. Connors and I, we look at them like, duh, I don't know. I'm just kidding. That's not true. We do know what to say. And I think a lot of times we'll bring it up, right? You bring it up to patients?
Yeah, I bring it up, yep.
Because we'll often see, you know, the incorrect usage of these makeups.
It leads to problems all the time, absolutely. And, you know, some products are obviously better for your eyes than others, and we're very fortunate that we have Dr. Sran, who's really been spearheading that that movement for us. And
educating us.
Educating us, absolutely.
And now educating you on some things to think about as it relates to makeup, skincare products, and ways to help more naturally create a more maybe cosmetically positive appearance. So on the other side of this break, we're going to talk a little bit more about your eye health and the intersection of beauty. Hey everybody, Dr. James Deom here. We are back on our final segment of our most recent Eyecare Today with Dr. Akirta Sran and Dr. Brendan Connors. We are so excited that they are part of our practice and more importantly, part of this community. You can find them in Hazleton, in Pottsville, and also in our brand new office in Nanticoke. So you will be able to see one of their lovely faces in any one of those 3 locations. I don't want you to forget our beautiful location in Tannersville, Pennsylvania either. We've got the great Dr. Corinne Bellinger and Dr. Olzinski there. Dr. Kislin and myself are also there. I don't want to forget our fantastic ophthalmological colleagues, Dr. Frank Bucci, who provides cataract and LASIK surgery to all of our patients, does pre-op consultations in our offices, as well as our newest ophthalmological colleague, Dr. Alarkar, who is our most junior but new, fantastic doctor from Atlanta. He comes from a large practice in Atlanta where he did a really just a huge amount of surgical volume, a ton of experience, very, very well-trained, very nice retina specialist that we're excited to introduce to our entire patient population. So if you're getting injections for macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy, and you're unsure about your clinical care, give us a try. All of us are more than trained and really love dealing with macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, and other conditions of the retina. And we have our ophthalmological colleagues to help us with injections, surgical intervention, and all things retina. So we are so excited to be offering all of those solutions for you and your loved ones. So let's get over here to Dr. Sran. We were just talking a little bit about the intersection of eye care and beauty. And I think, you know, Dr. Connors and I were joking a little bit about how sometimes people will ask us about eyeliner, mascara, and more often I think we bring it up, right? We bring it up, and what is something that you say a lot about eyeliner, makeup? Is there anything that you bring up or that you say?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So a couple things, especially eyeliner. I've been seeing a lot of at least from my perspective, improper eyeliner use, right? So you have, and everyone does, about 30 oil glands in the lower eyelid as well as the upper eyelid. They're incredibly important. They secrete the oil portion of your tear film, and without that, you know, your eyes aren't going to feel good, you're not going to see good, right? And it's becoming more common, even in younger girls now, that I'm seeing eyeliners going right over top of those oil glands. Right. So right behind the lash line, I think girls call it the water line, right? In our field, it's called the gray line. It's where the oil glands open up. So if you're applying eyeliner behind that lash line, it's going right over the oil glands, and it's going to cause you problems.
So why, you know, and I, you know, I'm happy that you know that, Dr. Connors. I'm just kidding.
I've had some help.
So are we, but so do you know why it is? I mean, you have the medical background, everything what he just said, but why is it that folks do that? Why do they, is that taught somewhere? Or is it just improper eye makeup application?
So I would say it's, you know, fashion, style,
It's fashion,
what's coming
okay.
in, what's not in. Sometimes, you know, you do the inner eyeliner to make the eyes pop, and
Okay.
in
It
your
looks
pictures
good,
in
right?
person,
Yeah.
it's all a style-based thing. There's eyeliner above the eyes, in the eyes. It all depends on the look you're trying to create, right? So, I mean, the important thing is that area should be avoided because you are clogging and, you know, impeding the glands from their function. But also, you're, you know, using the same one every day. It's collecting bacteria. It's collecting, you know, germs that we don't want to be placing in and around the eye surface.
Okay.
So, and a lot of times people are not disposing of their makeup or getting new applicators and those kind of things. So that all makes a difference. Cleaning your makeup brushes, cleaning your products, getting new products. It's all part of the whole lid hygiene.
Right.
So
certainly we understand that these makeups, mascaras, eyeliners can be detrimental to the oil glands. They can block the oil glands. We know there's preservatives in there that can be harmful. So let's say someone says, you know, I'd like to take a more natural approach. I'd like to avoid the use of mascara and eyeliner altogether, but I'd like my eyelashes in particular to look fuller, longer, more robust. What do we say about that?
yeah, so there's definitely, you know, medical grade skincare. So not just, you know, the products you could go and pick up over the counter.
Because there's quite a few. I feel like I've seen more of them over the years. Certainly years ago, there was one called Latisse. That is still available. But there were some harmful side effects of that. So talk to me a little bit about these medical grade ones that you're referring to.
Right, so these are, you know, studied for their safety around the eyes, and they're created in a way that they're providing the lashes with support during their natural growth periods. So it allows you to have a fuller, darker, longer eyelash by applying the serum that works with your natural growth phase. You apply the serum in the morning and the evening along the lash line on the top eyelid, and you know, it's been studied against other products such as Latisse, and in the long run, more effective in that it's creating more length and darker, fuller lashes. And the product itself, the supply in the bottle is 4 months, and it's a single applicator instead of you know, having to change every day. So it's
fantastic.
It's designed well.
So you could see in the picture here that we have, you know, a before and after, and you could see a more robust, more luscious lash with you know, the Obagi product line, which is what we've really worked hard to bring this Obagi product line in. You've done extensive research on this. We've had a colleague that's been using it for over a year now in their office. We've been listening and watching, and also watching the clinical data on its success. And you thought it was worth bringing in because of that clinical safety and the efficacy. So we have the lash serum, which has been proven to provide a more robust lash. What else do they offer?
We also have the same idea for the brows. You know, a lot of times brows get picked over, they're patchy, they're thin, so we like to create a fuller, thicker brow again for that cosmetic appeal.
It's like Rogaine for your eyebrows.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. That's terrible. I'm going to put this stuff on my bald spot. I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is a problem. I see people drawing in their eyebrows, maybe getting them tattooed.
Yeah.
Boy, this sounds like a real game changer for people.
Definitely, because you're working with your natural hair follicles and the cycle that your hair goes through, and taking advantage of that natural process and supporting it to allow the natural growth of the hair.
I think this is something that a lot of people have growth problems. They also have sensitive skin. They're worried they're going to put something on their eye and create an irritation. This is a product that's been tested, very, very sensitive, conscious to the eyes. I believe there's also a lid serum. Is that correct? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so there's two different lid products. So for around the eyes, we have a lid cream, which is used for firming, tightening, brightening, fine lines and wrinkles, which you would use above the eyelids and along the sides where we get the crow's feet. Then we also have the under eye serum, which is for depuffing and dark circles, and it has caffeine extract to help with that depuffing right under the eye.
There's not a day that goes by where people don't ask me, how do I get rid of these things and what do I do about this? And now we have finally have a solution that's safe, that's effective, that's accessible, and offered right here by your eye care professionals that have done the research, done the work to make sure that this is safe and effective for you. If you have questions about any one of the Obagi line products that we have here, please give us a call, schedule an appointment if you're a patient, or even if you've never been here before. We'll be offering it at all of our locations in Hazleton, Stroudsburg, Pottsville, and now Nanticoke. Thank you so much for joining us on another Eye Care Today. We can't wait to see you.